Okay, so one morning, on a midweek morning, Iskanara comes up to the group and says, "Could I speak with you all for a moment, please?"
Sure.
Okay.
So I've been watching what we're doing and how, and it seems to me that all of our income is completely reliant on getting people to hire us to do things that, well, frankly, could get us killed sometimes. It'd be nice to have something that we have income coming in, even if it's not a lot, that is not reliant on us doing something that involves skullduggery. So, I would like to proposition the group with setting me up at the dance studio where I could teach the girls how to dance for the temple.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an excellent idea. Maybe you can get a date out of it.
Boom! Hugs Freywin, just, smothers her with love and affection and curves. Willpower and resolve, please.
Yeah. 20.
Okay. You're pleased and it's good, but you don't have any, demanding stirrings. She gives Kale a hug. He also looks flustered. She gives Vali a hug. Willpower resolve, please.
Am I rolling?
Behave you.
You're rolling your willpower and resolve.
No, why?
You have wonderful, curvaceous, beautiful, very attractive, advantaged
just
girl.
Basically to keep from doing anything?
Yeah.
Just clarifying on what I'm rolling here. I don't know what is that.
That's a fumble.
So where's my willpower resolve?
Well, honey, on a 4...
Oh, I don't have resolve, so that would be my roll's only a 3, so
That's a fumble.
That's a definite fumble.
When she gets done hugging Vali, gives you a kiss on the cheek, she goes to take the group to where she wants to buy the studio. And as she's walking out the door, Freywin, you notice that Vali has an indicator which direction he's going to be walking.
It's pointing north.
Oh boy.
You walk through the streets of Aranjun. At this point... Oh, and I also forgot.
What?
Adjust.
I also forgot. On your reputation, everybody now has a reputation of 2 in Aranjun.
Okay.
Which means whenever you try to make a reputation check, you roll an AV2. Alright, so...
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
I believe we put it in the back page, or we put it under advantages.
Somewhere here. No, it's not under advantages.
I'm just gonna
Well, it would be an advantage. Reputation is an advantage.
I'm just going to put it right there underneath religion.
Okay.
So I know where I'm looking for it.
So, you end up walking through the streets of Aranjun. As you're walking along, you have the standard sights and smells that you become used to. Food grilling on open spits, people calling out their wares, hookers trying to get trade, nasty men trying to cut purses, other people looking for a score, everyone trying to avoid the drunkards.
Man, you're shit, piss.
That too.
Rotting food.
Although, I would think that in this kind of culture, since that's like everywhere, there's like chamber pots and stuff everywhere to kind of take care of that. So if you do smell that, it's because someone has a pot that's left open.
Well, you also got to dump it somewhere. Most people just dump it right there in the open sewers.
I would think that
That's how they
we'll talk about the sanitation of Hyboria later, but I would think from the way he talks about how there's a lack of disease and there's a lack of stuff that maybe they actually have a better sense. Maybe germ theory is actually known. And so they actually have specific dumps. Because the only time I remember Howard actually mentioning something like that was once when Conan drops a woman who's betrayed him and sent him to jail into a cesspool.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it to the cesspool on purpose, because he knows where it is.
Not all the sewers would run into a cesspool.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of them would actually be open drain, kind of like a, like the...
Open ditches, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you proceed to walk through the area of the mall, and she actually leaves the mall and goes into the market square proper. Which means that now you can expect probably to buy her this property, you're looking at probably a silver bar a month rent for this property. That's a significant amount of change. We can probably swing it, but it's a significant amount of change. And she shows you this building it's not big, and it's not even the whole building. She's just talking about one floor. But it's large enough for her to do what she would do. Are you familiar with how large like a modern dance studio in a strip mall is?
Mm-hmm.
Picture about 2 of those together, and that's what you have. The other 2 floors of the building, this is a 3-story building. One's a seamstress, and the other one is a cloth. One wouldn't be a cloth there. One is a seamstress, and the other one is kind of like a. Let's say it's a pawn shop. That's easy. As this is the market proper, you would be able to get nobles as well as everybody from over Orange June, because this is the market proper, not just the mall. So you'd have the poor, the middle class, and the rich classes coming to train with her.
What?
Well, that would mean then having to talk to the landlord, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it means that we need to go talk to the landlord.
Okay.
What she said.
You go to talk to the landlord, and this guy walks out of the back. I need everyone to make a perception and awareness roll.
I need to get these into alphabetical order.
I got to heroic.
You got a heroic.
I need to get these something resembling alphabetical order. They're hard to look around in. Oh, stop it. Oh, I got a success.
Okay, so you have a success and you have a heroic. With your success, you notice there's a faint smell around the landlord that you've smelled before. You smelled it on Kale when Kale came back from that Black Lotus den.
He's a Black Lotus user, isn't
You smell some fumes. You smell the fumes. With your heroic, you know you've met this person before, but you can't quite remember where. The guy comes over and goes, "Hello, my name is Yalos. How can I help you?"
he? Hello, good sir. We are actually looking at possibly renting one of the floors that you have here available.
Ah, yes, I've had many people come and look to set up a stall here or set up shop. It's quite an in-demand spot. I don't want to discourage you, but I've had some very high bids. Roll your intuition and barter. Oh, nice. 20 altogether.
Okay, intuition and barter, you said. Okay, well, it doesn't change with that.
It is a winged doggy.
Dramatic.
Dramatic.
Kind of dramatic.
You not only know he's lying, you know he is purposely lying to see if you'll take the bait and try to call him on it. You just kind of get that sense from him.
Okay, so he's wondering if I'm gonna call him out on the fact that nobody's biting, or call him out on the fact that...
He's at least wondering it.
Okay. How to do this? What would be the best tactic to take here? So if I call him out on it, what would that basically tune him into the fact that I'm
Some
on
Morans
to it?
love playing this game, I'm just saying.
He just wants you to haggle.
Speaking as somebody who doesn't know anything about haggling really and has been winging it so far, a little more elaboration here on the
So,
psychology at least.
He's fishing to see how good you are at this game. So if you don't call him on it, he'll underestimate you.
Okay, which might give me an edge.
You call him on it, he'll respect you, but he's going to play hardball.
But if he underestimates me, then it gives me an edge to where I can maybe get something that get the price that we want on it, right?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Or get some other favor out of him.
Yeah, or even a favor, yeah.
Okay. You want back up?
Yes, Mama. I want cuddles.
I want cuddles. Give me cuddles.
I've never had such affectionate dog in my entire life.
Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. Oh, cuddle, 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 cuddles. Oh, give me some cuddles. Give me cuddles.
Okay. So, okay, Matt, your opinion. Should I
Oh, by all means, lead him by the nose.
lead him by the nose? So basically make him underestimate me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So...
Act like an idiot.
Oh, well... I'm sure
See
we
if you
can
can get
give...
Escanara to pout at him.
Yeah.
I mean, Turn the big,
Well,
big puppy
she's-
dog eyes and.
She's wearing. I imagine she's wearing her veil, so he probably can't see her.
Yes,
Oh.
Iskanar normally walks around
Ah.
veiled.
Oh!
But
I know.
she's got
I
the
know.
big, she can use those big
I
brown
know,
eyes.
I know how to do this. So Bali turns to look at Iskanara with the whole kind of giving her a subtle look to say, "Hey, play along."
She just looks at you.
Okay.
I fumbled.
Oh well. Well, hopefully. Oh well. Are you sure you want this location then? In that particular case, I mean, if they have.
She looks at you like
Right.
she looks at you because she fumbled your innuendo and does not realize you're trying to get her to do something.
Uh-huh.
So she just bluntly says, "Of course I want this location, Volley. It's perfect for what we want to do. We have to have this location." Making your job harder on your next barter roll because I did fumble.
Oh, okay. Well, my good sir, the lady has spoken, so.
Well, I could possibly forsake those other offers for, say, silver bar plus 100 silver coins a month.
Okay, so based on what we've seen of the location, what leverage could Volley use to point out, hey, let's lowball the price?
Give me a barter and intelligence, because you're asking about a knowledge thing, something he would know he could use.
Maybe? Barter and intelligence?
Ooh, nice monastery.
Mm-hmm. I'd be a bitch to cart all that stone up that mountain.
I got a partial. Wait, no, hold on. I thought that was a 6. That's a 9.
You know,
That's
look
a
at the
9.
huge honking crane they got there.
Success.
Oh, that's not a monastery, that's a castle.
Success.
That's a success.
So you sit there and you realize that the one thing location has that could work against it is because of where it sits in the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cramped to get into. So during like high market times, when your clients are likely to come here, they may have to wait, and some of them may miss classes.
Ah, okay. Well, to be honest, based on the location, it can be a bit cramped. It would require some wait times during high market times, which that may detract some people from wanting to actually come here. So, I would say, what's a lower ball amount? He said how
That's
much?
what I
A
said.
silver bar? 2 silver bars?
He said a silver bar plus 100 silver coins a month.
So, what price do we want to go with here?
Well, lowball them, so go down to, let's see, how many silver in a silver bar?
If memory serves, there is 500 silver coins in a silver bar. Double
So
check
lowball
that.
them down to maybe 400,
400 silver coins?
Let me double check that.
maybe or even 300.
300?
Because I think a silver bar a month is more than fair. It's actually almost outside our price range. So
Make some trade goods.
what is that, boy? What is that? Oh my God! It's a giant fly. See the helicopter shadow
Market
going across
lists.
the
Coins.
monastery. There.
One silver
Oh, a
bar
giant fly.
is 500 silver coins. I was right.
Okay, so let's say, based on that, I would say 300 would be much more reasonable.
But at high market times, you're going to have more people that might become students. It's not fair for you to be raking in all that profit and me not be able to be recompensed for the property taxes and the maintenance of the building. At 300 silver coins, I will barely be able to keep the place in paint.
Does he have a counter offer?
How about 450 silver? So he's actually like 50 silver down from silver bar.
Okay. 450, we want to go for that?
400.
Raymond says aloud 400.
Does everyone say 400?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
When you say this, you're trying to be intimidating, or you're trying to
No, just stating fact.
then you have barter and charisma.
Great. Make me roll my lowest stat. Oh well, I'm not going to complain.
Oh,
What kind of success do we have?
22. But then again, my charisma and my barter skill are like minimal, so I'm only rolling on a 4 here. So let's see what we got here. Actually, that still came out as a dramatic, so I'm not complaining at all.
He hems and he haws, he makes a show of it, but he's thinking to himself, well, 400's better than 300. And you get the sense that 300 probably is like the baseline he needs to operate.
mm-hmm.
He's like, "There's some profit," and he's thinking to himself, dance studio, maybe they won't last that long. There's money coming. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do 400 a month. And we'll do that for the next 3 months. Into 3 months, we'll renegotiate if we see that you're successful and go from there.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay.
All right. He gets out all the paperwork he needs. He says, sign here, take this. And he says, you need to take this to the courthouse and have it notarized. And he takes his own signet ring and puts his signet ring in wax to the side.
Cool.
Okay?
So, yes, we're off to the courthouse now.
I look forward to doing business with you. Remember, Yavos Mara.
What's Yalos Mara?
That's his name.
Oh, okay.
Your friend, he always has the places you need to do the business you want to do. I'm still working on my slogan.
It's not bad. It could use a little more.
Sounds like the kind of guy who has a spine twirler outside the place.
As we're leaving, Kale mutters, I'm not sure I understand what just happened. Why not just strong-arm the man or intimidate him and growl at him and be done with it? He clearly was trying to take us for a ride.
My good man, it is the art, which you obviously don't understand, of
The deal.
The deal. Haggling, speaking, working your words in an intricate pattern in which to get what you want. But
No
of
wonder you
course,
people worship a spider. You think like one.
I don't worship a spider.
Speaking about
but,
Zomrans
yeah.
in general.
Oh.
All right.
Well, at least she's not colored like a Cheeto.
Making a Trump reference?
The
I don't
other
get the
part of the
reference.
deal.
Trump reference?
Oh. Okay.
Like, I got it!
She got it! You missed it!
I've actually read that book and remember thinking, wow, this is pap. It says absolutely nothing in 400 pages.
Yeah, that's pretty much the impression I got too.
All right. So you walk to the courthouse, and as you're walking to the courthouse, I need a... Let's make it perception and awareness, because it would be something physical you could see.
No, I'm oblivious.
I may not be. Hold on. Perception and awareness?
Mm-hmm.
You, stay. Don't go wandering off. You'll cause problems, eat the cat, something like that.
The cats are probably hiding.
Yeah, well, there's no point in asking for trouble, right?
Yeah, true enough.
I got a heroic.
You have it?
Barely, but I got it right.
Nothing?
I'm oblivious.
Kale has a fumble. All right. You're walking along with your heroic. You notice that there are quite a few members of the city watch walking through this particular area of town. And they seem to be clustered around one section of the market in general. And as you're leaving the market square and heading towards like the governmental buildings, you notice there's like double patrols. And your first conclusion of this must be the relative of the king must be nearby, otherwise they wouldn't be making a show of doing their job. Right? And as you're walking through the street, you come across a scene where, having met that relative before at the opera house, you see him in the street arguing with Durley Monk.
Oh, boy. Okay.
On one side of the argument, you have the spider priest and his acolytes, as well as two silent ones behind him as his personal guards. On the other side, you have the relative of the king plus his personal house guard. And they're probably separated by about 4 to 5 feet of space, right? And the noble is going off on something. You can't quite make it out from the distance because right now you're just seeing it. It's hard to overhear it through the market noise. But Moke's face is just the epitome of disdain of how dare this little shit think he can talk down to me I don't care where his bloodline comes from. I am the voice of Zath, blah, blah, blah. Right? You can just see things. And you can tell the nobles thinking, hey, I'm a relative of the king. I'm in charge. You serve us. You can see the two egos at war in this conversation.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you two want to get close enough to see more of it or not. Kale sees it and kind of goes, huh. Reminds me of two street braggarts bragging about how great they are but never actually coming to blows. And Iskanara says, perhaps we should avoid that. After all, we're not supposed to let anyone know we're working for the temple. Mock may react if he sees us.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, let's just...
Besides, we want to be associated with him in case the king's nephew there gets really pissed off and decides to start lopping heads.
So to skirt it without being noticed, I need a stealth and agility. Everybody in the group needs at least one success.
Oh, hell no.
Kale gets a 21. Iskanara gets what she needs.
I didn't get a fumble, but I failed. What is with me and my stealth rolls always doing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you were supposed to be like super stealthy killer
My stealth?
attack ninja.
No,
No.
Vali is super speaky.
Yeah, super speaky. My stealth is a 6, so it's
That's not
still
even a
not
word,
bad.
it sounded good in my head. Alright. So as you're
Got heroic.
moving through the crowd, Vali steps on someone's toes or shoves someone away or something, and ends up bumping someone into the minor noble,
Oh shit.
We're that close?
who spins and turns. Gotta remember how crowded the street must be. Spins and turns and sees Vali.
I proceed to just see to turn away and keep walking.
And a look of horror.
Huh?
A look of horror crosses the man's face.
Okay. Bali would just play it off as like, I didn't see anything, he doesn't know anything, he doesn't know this person is just walking.
I'm not done. Vali needs to roll a double intelligence check to see if he remembers this guy. At the opera, it was dark, so you didn't really get a good look at each other. This is broad daylight.
I have no idea who this person is.
That more than likely. Double intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who this person is. I'm just going, Never seen him
I
before in my
got a
life.
legendary.
This guy used to use the services of your former sorceress master.
Oh!
And keep in mind, sorcery is illegal in Zamara, technically.
Oh. Well, Vali will do this as he walks away. Because he's a minor noble who's related to the king. Vali does not want to get in deep shit with any of those. It's just bad.
You proceed to the courthouse. You get your items notarized, so now you actually have the deed.
Come on.
Brief. Wait, will we take him outside?
Yeah, he needs to go.
Okay.
He actually
Aww. All right, so
feel better now.
my
Mike?
peanut butter bagel, not yours. Okay. So Iskanara is going to be busy the rest of the day, prepping the room, getting people to come in, arranging painters, maybe a carpenter, that kind of stuff.
Musicians.
So you know what she's doing. I'm going to go ahead and say Kale stays with her, so I can have the two NPCs off camera. What are you two doing today?
Well, what do we normally do during the day? Beat up Johns who beat up on hookers and make sure everybody pays their fair share and make
You're
sure
walking
everybody
around.
gets
That's what he's doing. Or she's doing.
I'll probably
Vali's
be
gonna want... Go ahead.
working with one of the Terranians for that.
Vali's going to find out how to get in touch with Marcellus.
Okay.
You might want to tell the good priest too that about your former.
No, he's gonna leave the priest out of it. That's not something he'd want to get involved in anyway.
Go ahead and give me a streetwise and intuition roll.
Okay. I forgot I did not buy any more Streetwise. Oh, well, I'm going to have to do that sooner or later. Still got to be dramatic.
Okay.
Streetwise is getting damn good.
So as you walk your rounds today, people in the local area have gotten pretty aware of our band. I still haven't figured out what they're taking to calling us. But nobody in the local area is having any problems. You do hear noise, however, that there are a couple of girls just outside our territory that are being harassed by a group called the Indigo Falcons.
Gee. Couldn't come up with a better name, huh? The Purple Birds.
Indigo. It's dignified.
The Bluebirds, even.
Falcons. It's predatory. It's respectable.
Let's go see if we can convince those nice girls to move over to our neighborhood.
Okay. Zosha, who's the Turanian that's come with you, is like, I don't think the Falcons will take it well for picking their pocket of prospective hookers, especially since they're not really working in our territory.
Well, we're going to try and get them to work in our territory because we need more income. And if they want to wage a war, well, fine. We'll kick their ass, take their money, take their turf, and increase our profits.
All right. So the two of you walk over to that area of town, and when you get there, we're going to call the two women in particular a pair of sisters who live in the same little flat. And when you walk in, you have the kind of smelly, grubby, typical detective traditions used to thinking of in the mall.
No, you kind of like to play.
How do you want to introduce yourself to these two people?
So we don't still have a group name, do we?
Nope.
That's going to make introductions a little more difficult.
Well, I'm going to say that because you guys have a reputation of two people have taken, they don't really have a name for your band, but they've taken to calling you that group in the hovel. So you can introduce yourself as that.
Okay. We're from the hovel, and we hear that you've been, well, coerced a little more than usual.
To whom are you speaking?
The two girls.
Okay, so you found their flat. You haven't actually met them or
Oh.
gotten entrance yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we had found them. So
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
we know where they live, but
Mhm.
so go through that whole introductory process stuff. So
Okay.
you're seeing the typical kind of like grimy, downbeaten, not well cared for wattle building.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I guess we should just walk in and ask to see the working ladies of the house.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you walk up. There's a snotty-nosed kid outside. Looks like he's maybe 8 or 9. Looks like he hasn't had a bath in 2 or 3 days. Looks up at you. He's like, "What do you two want?"
We're here to speak to the working ladies of the house.
I don't think they do what you want them to.
It's not that kind of business. Just introduce us. Flip them a couple of electrons.
He pockets the money real quick. Hey, Eddie, Needy, what do you want, Keedy? And they come downstairs, and you can tell that the two girls are probably his older sisters.
Great, we're inheriting wealth again.
They look like they're probably in their later teens, like 19 or so. Neither one of them looks like they've had a good life. One of them looks really thin, like she might be sick. And when they see you and see the Turanian, the two girls go, "We don't do pair work."
That's not what we're here about.
What do you want?
I hear you're being a little pressed hard by the local authorities.
Yeah, the Falcons came by last week and demanded that we work for them.
Well,
And they threatened to beat up Needy if she didn't agree.
how would you like to have better working conditions, a larger share of your profit, and better protection.
Well, it all sounds good, but it also sounds a bit like a fairy tale. I mean, we're under no illusions that we're not going to be able to make that much, and we still have day labor.
Well, we're from the hovel.
The two girls look at each other. Oh?
And one thing we do in our neighborhood is we protect everyone.
So we've heard.
Now, we don't take a large slice, just enough to let us know that you appreciate our efforts. And in return, we actually do our jobs. Nor do we take any freebies. Any man who works for me will have to pay full price.
The two girls look at each other and they go, "You're in charge of the band?"
I'm one of them.
Zosha doesn't betray anything about what he thinks about that. Okay.
And you can imagine living conditions are probably a lot better.
We
too.
have nowhere to live there. We can't afford. Look.
I think we can reach an accommodation with that too. It probably gets you some medical care.
What do you mean? An accommodation? Are we talking like a loan that we owe you have to pay off?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a loan, yes, but the payment will be, well, the payment will be fair. And it will not be in services either. Unless you count cleaning and washing services.
Give us a moment. And they back up a little bit. The two of them talk. They come back. It sounds good, but we do have people we have to take care of. And they point to the little brother. We have 5 children we're taking care of because our mother died.
Can they work?
Most of them are still too young.
I'm talking about in the sense of, can they run errands? Can they clean? Can they learn a trade?
We're reluctant to learn any trade that's commonly practiced in the mall. Basically, she just told you they're both reluctant. They've been trying to keep the kids from becoming thieves.
Oh, I'm not talking about that sort of thing. I'm talking about a legitimate trade.
Nobody wants us because of our poverty. They don't think we're worth anything.
Yes. Do I look like somebody who cares about such things?
If you'd be willing to help them find work, we will definitely do it.
Like I said, I think that won't be a problem. After all, we have a few people in our neighborhood who sometimes come up a little short, and I'm sure they would like to pay in kind. Taking on another apprentice would be a wonderful way of helping to pay their bills with us. As long as the young children work hard and actually do their jobs as they're required, shouldn't be an issue.
And we'd like to arrange it that one of us is always at home with the children to watch over them.
Well,
That way they're not in anyone's way.
working in shifts is probably best anyway. After all, one of you looks like you could use some care of a doctor
All
while
right.
she recovers. I don't see any problem with that.
All right. You have a deal.
You get what I'm trying to do, right? Instead of a brothel, it actually is rent decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a brothel is going to bring in a lot more money than just
So
street
we
hookers.
will. So we'll talk about Needy and Yeti and their kids later and that complication.
Mm-hmm.
You were looking to try and make contact with Marcellus.
Yes. And
So the first thing you have to do-
Did we ever find out where TC Barrow was staying? Is he still at his old
That's
place,
what I
or-
was studying on.
So
Thinking right into my tailbone.
Uh-oh, I
your
got her
group
all
has not
excited.
been able to, with your NPCs, locate TC Varro.
No, you're not going anywhere. I'm sorry.
Darling, you're not going out yet. I was sitting on that. I was digging at my
So,
tailbone.
is the house that he had before, he had to sell that? Okay, so, Volley would basically put word out that he's, or just like feelers basically, to see if he can try to get in contact with TC Barrow as well, because that's
Okay.
just a situation that needs to be
Resolved.
taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll roll at the
But-
beginning of every game session and see if we can make contact with him, but right now none of it's been successful.
Okay.
I agree with you there. That's a situation that needs to be resolved.
As far as finding Marcellus, it's well known where Marcellus hangs.
Wretched Whore?
The wretched whore.
Alright, Volley's going to go to the Wretched Whore. He's going to pay a kid to go inside the Wretched Whore, though, and take a look to see if Coconuts there.
We're learning.
Lordy following my plan.
And he ain't gonna step anywhere near there.
We're learning.
The kid comes back, making his way zigzag fashion through the crowd, and informs you the Ukrainian woman is there. So is Marcellus and his man. Some little guy who really talkative and
Probably some Warren.
giant man, long black hair.
Oh. That's where the other Sumerian is. Okay. Give a
Want to wait for me to show up? Because I've been wanting to talk to Conan again for a while.
Give Marcellus a message to meet with me. Where would be a good place for Volley and Marcellus to meet? Somewhere
Maybe.
public. So it wouldn't
I
cause.
also
What
got a
about the
crush on
coffee
that Ukrainian,
house?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, and just stress, just Marcellus, no coconut.
No coconut.
No coconut. Really doesn't trust her. But yeah, basically ask Marcellus. He can bring one of the others if he wants to, just not coconut. And meet him at the coffee house.
All right. So you go wait at a coffee house for him.
Yeah, like the coffee house.
There isn't the coffee house.
Okay, well then a coffee house.
Understood.
A coffee house, whatever coffee house is closest.
Coconut.
You're in that cafe
The nearest
/ coffee
Starbucks.
house.
So you're at the local Starbucks.
Give me. I was gonna take a chip from you, but that saved it. Damn, they're even the Hyperion Age. They're everywhere, man. The things breed.
I remember that scene in Family Guy where they're trying to get a Christmas present. You gotta get down to that local store where the Starbucks get. They're running through the mall. The Starbucks keep opening up as they're running, taking over every store in the mall.
There's a scene in Shrek where these people are fleeing a monster, destroying a Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
They run across the street, sipping their lattes the entire way into another Starbucks.
I remember they moved into Braids, and my first reaction was, "Oh my God, they're here!"
About an hour and a half later,
Mm-hmm.
Marcellus and Tyrell enter. The Sumerian's with them.
Okay.
He looms near the doorway as they come up to talk to you. Marcellus sits down, facing you. Tyrell turns 3/4 to you, but mostly towards so he can... Basically, if Marcellus looking at you flat on, Tyrell's sitting this way so he can see out the corner of his eye, but he can watch the rest of the establishment.
Okay.
You wish to speak with me, Marcellus asks?
Yes, I would very much like to resolve this whole blood feud that's been going on with Coconut. Did she tell you about how she accidentally killed a child in an effort to try to kill me?
No, she did not.
It happened just the other day. I need to know what I can do that will satisfy her need for revenge without her killing me.
She's a Hyrcanian. You can die.
Well, obviously I would prefer not to, because I actually rather like living.
I don't know if there's any way to repair it, because she blames you for the death of her brothers.
What did you do?
I will.
He didn't directly kill her brothers, but considering he fucked up the whole thing that happened, it kind of led to her brothers dying, so she blames Volley for it, so...
Is there somebody else we can shift the blame to?
No.
There's no way, because they all know it was Volley.
I will speak with her and see if there isn't a price that can be paid on it, but it may be exorbitant.
If I have to do something in order to pay it, then I will certainly do so. I'd just rather not have anyone else get killed in her quest for revenge.
Very well. I will send the answer to the hovel. Now, as the two of you are talking, a girl comes up, does the cold coffee ceremony thing, and you hear a loud voice say, "You're not doing it right!" And Baal Hatar is in the coffee shop.
Oh. Okay.
And he shoos her away, and he sets up the platter and everything. He does the whole traditional presentation, all that kind of stuff.
Pookie.
And he just walks himself to sit down next to you.
Oh.
It is good to see you both. How have you been?
Fairly good. You know, business as usual.
So I have been regaled for hours by Joshua about who I should be schmoozing up to, who I shouldn't be schmoozing up to, and who I should be entertaining. And frankly, I am tired of it. I need the company of good, honest men like yourselves.
Only as a lawyer would say that with a straight face.
And it occurs to me that although he had only my best benefit in mind, that I sort of owe Jadul Rajam for playing a very nasty trick on my servant. Who was grievously injured. I'd like to show him that I am truly an open-minded person who can be addressed as an adult, rather than have to go behind my back and arrange such stunts.
It's understandable.
I was wondering if perhaps...
I'm glad I'm not there because I would have snickered at that whole open-minded adult aspect of the conversation.
I was wondering if perhaps I could arrange for your band, he's talking to Marcellus now, to meet Jadul Rajam. Marcellus looks at Tyrell. Tyrell's like, a brief shake of his head. I prefer to make my own introduction to the spice merchant. However, my band is currently open. No. It's a one-time offer. I'm disappointed. Turns to Volley. Take care.
You too.
You should have taken him up on it. No, I shouldn't have. And much like you saw Joshua and Bale have a lover's spat,
They're having a lover's spat.
you're about to see one start. Bellingham, I'm going to be here to watch this.
He'll politely excuse himself and just say, I'll keep an ear out for your word back, and then get out of there before they get into it.
Give me an etiquette and charisma to get out of there.
I don't have etiquette, so I'm going to have to go straight charisma.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's one skill I'll be buying. I don't think the Van or Liber actually won that. Kind of defeat the purpose.
Ooh, Volley's a smooth motherfucker.
You mean you actually ooze your way out of this?
So it would count as
gracefully?
being deceptive.
Oh, so I could roll another one and see which one's better. I'm going to go with that one.
Thought you might.
So she actually oozes out of there with grace and dignity.
He
Let's
oozes
see.
out of there.
25. I got a legendary.
The two of them both just kind of nod at whatever excuse you made to leave the conversation. And as you're leaving, Conan of Samaria, by the gate, sees the two of them, just kind of shakes his head, and looks at you and goes, "Women."
Yeah, good luck on those. Those two. And then at that point, I guess Volley would probably head back to the hovel.
Okay. So everyone's back at the hovel then. Alright, so that brings us past the request. The day goes pretty much as you would expect to do. The women do show up. Seedy, this sick one, looks like she's about to fall down.
I'm going to take her to a certain Stygian doctor.
Anybody going with him?
And I'm going to drop her off there and go to the wretched hole because I need a drink and I need to get laid.
Yeah, Lily's not going to want to be in on that part.
Okay, Zosha goes with you. You bring in your Sebek almonds. He examines her. Do you wait for the diagnosis? Or...
Oh, yeah. I'll wait that long.
He leaves her alone in a room, comes down to you, and pulls you into a private room. Away from all of his other doctors even, and goes, Where did you encounter her?
Oh, about 2 neighborhoods over. Why?
She's not going to make it.
How bad?
5, 6 days. She's the plague.
Oh, shit. What version?
They just call it the plague. All right. He describes that she's about to go through the feverish stage where the wasting disease that she's gotten is going to start attacking like her bloodstream and a bunch of other things. It's going to be very, very bad for her. He's actually to just go ahead and like give her a draught and kill her now, spare the pain.
Well, we need to talk to her and her sister first.
All right.
Nobody should leave this world without their family knowing why.
Also, I can't let her in good conscience back out in the street.
I agree.
Because I'm not sure how whatever she's got is spread, but there are some rumors it's spread by breath.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Lovely.
I'll inform her sister.
the house she was staying in, you need to burn everything.
Agreed. Okay, I'll bring her family in here as well so you can check them out. And then, yeah, we'll burn the house down.
Okay.
I'll inform the authorities. Family, of course, will unfortunately have already fled by this point. But I'm sure they'll take care of it.
Doesn't mean you have to actually have everybody else in the household checked as well.
Yes, but I thought people I gave my word to, they will have somehow disappeared and walked away and they'll never be found again. Everybody else in that building are on their own. I have no obligation to them. So,
Okay.
told you, I'm a pastiche. These people I made my promise to.
Right.
Everybody else.
Understood. So you return to the hovel and you say what to... I call it CD and to Nettie and her.
I'll pull her over to someplace private, make sure there's no servants around, because unlike rich people, I pay attention to that, and let her know. Listen, I took her to a doctor who is as close to infallible as we can get and who owes us a very big favor. He says, unfortunately, your sister has the plague.
No.
Don't know who she... We need to know who she came in contact with outside of your family in the last few weeks.
There have been so many men, I can't name them all. For both of us.
Oh boy.
We've been doing everything we can to try to get money to survive.
We're going to take you and your family to the doctor, have you looked at, make sure none of you have it. But everything, including your clothing, everything has to be burned.
She just kind of nods, her spirit broken.
Don't worry about clothing. We'll make sure you have something to wear. And you'll have a place to live until you can secure new lodgings. You are to tell no one where you came from. Because we're going to have to tell the priest and the local governor about the situation. Your family, however, I gave you my protection. So you will not be mentioned or named in this.
Thank you. All right. You take her to Sebek and her family. And Sebek actually has Noichu put them in like basically a locked room because, you know, he's going to leave in case they are infected.
Mm-hmm.
And he will give you the results later. He's like, it's strange. Unless they're like the very first cases, I should have seen more indications of this. There should be more people filtering in. This is not something that only affects like one family.
Well, they did see quite a few men this last couple of weeks. Could have been a drover, could have been a merchant,
Somebody wandering in.
a wandering thief, God knows what.
All right. I like to keep them here for a few days just to check on them and make sure everything's fine.
Yes, I've already informed
They
them.
may resist. I could use some help keeping them here.
I will do what I can. I'll send two of my men here.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I need to make sure that the authorities know about the house. That there's been rumors of plague in the area.
You want to go to the watch? You want to go to the temple?
To the temple.
All right.
I count on the priest to handle it without undue noise.
So, once again, you walk to the temple, you get a little high for the opium fumes, you talk to some mucky mucker, you want to ask for Mock himself.
I'll ask for Mock himself, because I think this is something he needs to know.
They keep you waiting another 2 hours while he goes through his itinerary, and towards the end of the dinner hour, when he's finally free, he comes by, eating along the way, and says, I don't have much time, please inform me, what have you discovered?
Plague.
Where?
You never gave me the neighborhood's name.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Relate. He records it, he's like, thank you for bringing this to my attention, I will get on it right away.
Can it be handled quietly? The last thing the mall needs is a riot. We're just starting to get our neighborhood calm. On the other hand, this is Indigo Falcon territory, so...
The city would move the watch perimeter and not let anyone leave. I'll let everybody know. You're convinced it's just this one family?
So far.
I'll bring some slaves that have either come close to outliving their usefulness or have proven resistance to such diseases in the past who've already had it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have them pack the things up, move them outside town, and burn them.
Good. How about the hovel itself?
The home?
Mm-hmm.
Can't have the hole.
It will have to be destroyed.
Agreed. I'm just making sure that's actually how we're going to go about doing that, because the last thing you want in a town, in a crowded city, is a fire. So, but at the same time, that's not the best way to handle the situation. So, you may end up having to build a fire break by knocking down surrounding buildings and then burning it down.
I will see if there's some alchemist in the area that might be able to help us with that.
That's a good idea.
I do tend to have them. I am the spider priest.
I'm just thinking to myself as a player, that's a good idea. Use the alchemist and maybe have a nice tight control of fire. Something you don't think of in this kind of environment, but yeah, that would work. Especially if you can keep the sparks down to a minimum.
So you head back to the hovel. It is now getting towards evening.
Like I said, time to go to the Wretched Horde and drink off some of the stress. Maybe get laid.
So we're basically making the Wretched Whore our place too.
Drink,
That's the
get
plan?
laid, do business.
All right. I actually put another bar in the area, but I forgot to. I'll print it off. Did you see the document for the hovel and its surrounding area that I put up in the Facebook group?
No, I didn't actually. I haven't checked it.
I made a map of the hovel and local area. There's a brothel to the south I was calling Sedina's, and there is a. Well, I imagine there'd be several drinking establishments, but right now we'll go to the Wretched Horde.
There's usually a drinking establishment about every 400 to 600 people in a pre-modern environment. So yeah, probably be several. But since the Wretched Horde is where we first came into business.
So if you walk into the horde, Perdage and his guys are actually there performing. And they're sitting there playing in one corner. Some people are dancing to it, drunkenly and sloppily. Because
hey, if they're having fun, who cares?
you don't see a lot of people working the night. Apparently it's kind of a slow night. No one seems to have a lot to be stolen or wanting to do a lot of theft. What are y'all doing?
Oh, me, like I said, I'm just getting drunk. I'm just going to take a few drinks and try to find some company.
You're carousing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. For your carousing check, give me a constitution and an athletics to keep from getting drunk. What's Volley doing while this is going on?
What do you want to do? Well, so it's basically most of the group over at the Wretched Horde.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd probably be with the rest of our group, because he wouldn't want to be at the hovel all by his lonesome.
Aww.
Well, that would be a perfect way for Coconut to try to spring a trap on him and kill him, so yeah, no, he'll stick
As you are leaving, you hear, "Damnation!" from the top floor.
Hold on a second, I'll go check on that.
You walk in and Aristocles is by the window, fanning fumes out the window from some experiment he was attempting that's gone wrong.
What were you trying to do?
Nothing. I was perfecting a recipe, he says evasively.
Chips.
On the little white table? The little table in front of you?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That was the player actually coughing, not the player pretending while he was coughing, because
Okay.
the saliva went
Well,
down.
anyways, epic success.
I am slamming it down and still walking a straight line. I kid you not.
You're buying a chip to get an epic, or you were
No, I
rolling
got an epic success.
Oh, draw from the hat.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a blue.
Okay, so a recipe, right?
You were busy doing.
Oh, I forgot.
You were busy doing NPC stuff, so I wasn't going to interrupt you.
There were 2 fumbles, so I get to draw 2 chips for the stage.
So anyways, I'm so cold sober and actually paying attention to what's going on around me. So besides the alchemist, what else is going on? Is Coconut in here?
Oh, right now we're still back at the hovel. I haven't gotten to the thing yet. All right, so he coughs a little bit as he's taking this stuff out. You have a couple ways to approach it. The first is you can try to make some kind of interrogation on him to see get a sense of what he's lying about, or you can just take your alchemy skill and look at the table and see if you can figure it out.
Yeah, he'll take a look at the table.
Since you are a distance away and you are being observed, don't put a -4 on this.
Why deal with his ego trying to cover up his own mistake, right?
Alchemy intelligence -4.
Say what? Alchemy and intelligence -4?
Alchemy intelligence -4.
Oh, that's a pretty good roll, so it's possible.
You get a bonus on that, don't you, for alchemy?
No, I do not have a bonus.
She has a bonus on sorcery.
Oh,
Just
okay.
sorcery.
I'm trying to remember what the other players have so I can take advantage of it.
Hers are sorcery, deception, speech, right?
It is sorcery, pickpocket, and streetwise, and then anytime
Streetwise.
I'm being deceptive, I get a d6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a success.
You look at it and you see a common enough recipe that alchemists are always trying to make work, but no one has ever actually pulled off. He's trying to turn lead into gold. The very thing that got him in trouble to begin with.
So we just have to hope he doesn't burn the place down.
Are you sure you want to continue on that pursuit? Because no one I've known has actually managed it.
That just means they haven't got the combination, the balances of the essential humors of the items correct. I am sure that once I discover the true salt of gold, I can manage to make it replicate. All things breed. All things want to have more of themselves. We just have to convince gold to get up off its ass and yay, go fuck.
Yeah, I would say give yourself a chip for that one.
Well, just try not to burn the hovel down while you're at it.
Oh, nonsense. I'm not going to burn the hovel down.
I mean,
I don't know. I've seen
burn
plenty of those things backfire and end up with quite an explosion, so...
You mean like you burnt down your previous location?
Nobody...
I did not burn down my previous location. It did not have the structural integrity that the right required.
Yeah.
In other words, you burnt it down.
He broke it, remember?
Oh, yeah,
he did. It was
levitated.
telekinesis,
That's right. Otherwise he
though,
broke it.
so... Yeah. Old Volley will just... give him a little bit of an eyeball, like, you better be careful, and then just, I guess, go ahead and head out after that. What you doing?
I'm pulling up the map of the area as soon as the computer decides to actually do its job.
It does take a few minutes.
So anyways, how's things down at the Wretched Horde?
Okay, so you get to the Horde, and Pradaj is playing, and they're apparently got a nice little crowd going. Everything seems to be nice. Iskanara shows up, and when she sees Pradaj and them playing, she kind of starts, getting the dance bug a little bit. So she walks out on the floor, saunters out there, and does like a very alluring belly dance without letting the veils go. She has everyone's attention.
Of course, because she always does.
Y'all want to do anything while she has them distracted?
Yeah, which means I'll just keep a very close eye on the crowd because the first person that gets two hands, he's going to get their head cracked in.
They're all mesmerized.
They can be mesmerized all they want. It's the handsy part that gets me upset.
Kiel walks in, goes right up to the bar. Ale. Gets
Yeah,
one sip of it, grimaces,
conversation.
looks down at it, drinks anyway.
Takes the fly out, shakes it up down. Spit! Spit!
Anyway, looking for a job. I know Freywin, I heard say, is looking to get laid.
Yeah.
Give me a charisma and charisma, speech, and add your reputation bonus because you're in an area where your reputation would apply.
Okay. That's a +2. That's 7.
Okay, let's try reopening Google. Maybe that's the
18?
issue.
+7. Oh, that's a heroic. Not fantastic, but damn good.
So you're sitting there watching her dance and starting to feel a little aroused yourself, and you notice there's this one girl. You don't know if she's a working girl or not, but she's up where they're serving the alcohol, and the guy that she's with has just left her alone, and she does not look like she's thrilled to be with him.
Time to move in.
Okay?
If I get a good bar brawl out of this on top of it, I'll just make my evening.
She's a Zamoran, and when she sees you approach, she looks at you up and down, and the fact that you're a foreigner with that bright flaming red hair, you immediately have her attention. She can't stop looking at your hair. She's like, whoa.
And it's all natural.
What do you do?
Oh, like I said, I'm approaching, and I'm going to continue to basically take a seat.
Give me an approach. Role play it.
I notice you're not very happy with your company tonight. Would you like to maybe meet somebody different?
Most of the men here seem too timid, as my ill-chosen paramour has a bit of a reputation for being a brutish lout.
Well, I have a reputation for being violent, crude, obnoxious even, and for breaking heads. But never to people I like. And I think I could actually like you.
Aw, you're so sweet. But I'm not sure exactly what it is you're asking.
For your company tonight.
And what would we do?
Well, what do two people normally do in the dark in very comfortable circumstances?
She blushes. You know, I've never done that with a woman before. I'm not sure how that works.
Don't worry. I'll steer you around the curves.
And you can see that she's kind of toying with the idea because apparently she really does not like the guy she's with. Where the hell did it go? Alright, you know what? We're
Okay,
just
you
gonna
are sound asleep down there. I can hear you snoring now.
just download it straight from Facebook.
Guess he was getting a little too warm up here.
I'm going to move it on to a seduction roll. Give me a charisma. Actually, yeah, it's charisma plus the love play skill, which I don't think you actually have. I'll let you default to your speech. Charisma plus speech.
Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, got a heroic.
Alrighty.
Again, not outstanding, but pretty good.
Not outstanding.
She has no resistance. When you make the approach to seduce her, do you actually like touch her or something, or?
No, actually, I'm considering how touchy Zamorans can be about things that I'm not entirely 100% certain on local customs. I'll be flirtatious and definitely get within her personal space, but refrain from touching immediately.
So when you're within her personal space, you actually tell that her breathing changes. She starts panting a little bit. I should say panting, hyperventilating.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely can get what you want out of this girl, but you are going to have to be very gentle about it.
And I will be very gentle about it, like
Okay.
nuzzling her ear and with my nose, and not actually putting my hands on anything until she makes that move.
She looks around the bar and goes, "Can we go somewhere darker?" She's obviously feeling a little shy about being seen doing this out in the open.
Oh, of course.
You retreat to a shadowy corner and proceed to basically like heavy petting type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Volley, what are you doing?
Well, he's probably gonna be making connections, talking, seeing if he can hear anything about any possible work opportunities or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, give me an option to
Falcons
print
have
out
a
straight.
plague issue.
Good.
Huh?
So the Purple Falcons, the game next door has a plague issue. We can move in on a whole damn neighborhood now. Because the guard's probably going to cut that neighborhood off. It's going to plummet their profits. The easy pickings.
What am I rolling?
What are you trying to do again? I'm sorry, I was so busy downloading the map, I forgot.
So he's gonna
What
be
was that?
talking to people, making
Oh.
connections, seeing if there's any
You okay,
work
Joe?
opportunities or rumors that might lead to work
Oh,
opportunities.
streetwise and intuition.
Come here, what? What was that?
That woke him up.
What is that? Okay, so let's say 16.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see, 5. So let's see, column 8.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I got you dramatic.
A dramatic.
I got you dramatic.
You hear someone say something about easy pickings outside of town. Can't believe they got hit again. The veneer's a genius. Blah, blah, blah.
So that veneer bandit that's been running around out there, basically.
Mm-hmm. It's apparently some people either know of it or were part of it. Do you want to go try to approach them? All right. You approach them. They see you coming. They start hush up. Yeah, what can we help you with, friend?
Hmm.
Oh, I was just hearing of some interesting goings on outside of town and was rather curious about it as I'm looking to possibly expand.
Jojo. Give me Jojo.
Expand into what? Go ahead, talk.
Black marketing. Selling goods.
Well, you know, the things
Profiteering. Loans.
the things that every honest Samoan wants to do, moving goods and
Providing services.
providing services, you know, paying off the guard when need be.